Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Lack of trust persists among political parties despite clearance of obstruction at the parliament. Impact of central uncertainty seen also at the provinces. Government indifferent towards solving the problems of loan shark victims. Government calls for victims to file complaints again as more than 20,000 previous complaints are yet to be addressed. Donald Trump becomes the first U.S. president to be convicted of a crime when a New York jury found him guilty of falsifying documents to cover up a payment to silence a porn star ahead of the 2016 election. And world number one and defending champion Novak Djokovic outclasses Roberto Carballes Buena in straight sets to reach the French Open third round. Obstructions at the parliament have cleared following the formation of the Parliamentary Probe Committee to investigate the fraud of cooperatives. However, questions remain regarding if it has put to bed the crisis in the current ruling coalition and ended efforts for the formation of a new alliance. Dilemma of the ruling coalition has surfaced after Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal clarified that CPN Unified Socialist would not exit the current alliance. Prime Minister Dahal meeting main opposition Nepali Congress President Sherbahadur Deuba at his residence in Buranilkantha, all parties reaching a consensus on the formation of the Parliamentary Probe Committee and ruling CPN Unified Socialists chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal holding parleys with opposition parties are being seen with great significance in the political circle. Chairperson Nepal holding talks with opposition parties is an evidence to the turmoil in the ruling coalition. Despite the uncertainty among the parties on investigating Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Rabi Lamichhane, doubts persist regarding the fraud of cooperatives as this issue could surface again during the probe. While Lamichhane's name has not been included, the probe committee has the jurisdiction of Gorkha Media Network, which the Home Minister had been associated with. While Nepali Congress could draw Lamichhane into the investigations, such an attempt would not be acceptable to CPN-UML. If that happens, the ruling coalition is certain to face problems. Meanwhile, Nepali Congress is making all possible efforts to split the current ruling coalition. The main opposition seems to have grown closer to Prime Minister Dahal in the context of the probe into cooperatives fraud. Nepali Congress has also maintained positive relations with CPN Unified Socialist. Statements from Nepali Congress leaders regarding possible collaboration with CPN Maoist Center are evidences to the dilemma inside the ruling coalition. When Nepali Congress and CPN-UML were making allegations against each other on the fraud of cooperatives, CPN Maoist Center and CPN Unified Socialist had remained silent. Offer of the role of Prime Minister made to CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal shows that there are problems in the ruling coalition. Another CPN Unified Socialist leader, Jalanath Khanal, reached Balwatar to hold talks with Prime Minister Dahal last Wednesday. The split of Janata Samajwadi Party Nepal, because of the dilemma inside the ruling coalition, shows that the political course has not come to a pause. The recent developments have shown that the Game of Thrones remains to conclude. No party has a clear majority at the parliament. The political equation has changed 3 times in a short period of 17 months, while the Prime Minister has had to generate the vote of confidence 4 times already. While all the parties are concerned about the possible change in the political equation at any time, none of them accept it in an open manner. Members of CPN Unified Socialist, which is in the government led by Dahal, have been claiming that Chairperson Nepal would soon be appointed the Prime Minister, which is another evidence to issues in the alliance. If we are to borrow the words of Prime Minister Dahal, political turmoil will continue until he exists, and that he would leave no stone unturned to retain power. Such statements from the Prime Minister mean that the lack of trust among the parties will remain. Provincial politics has been increasingly unstable due to the political gambits at the center, raising the risk of a constitutional crisis. There have been instances where disputes related to the formation of provincial governments have reached to courts, and verdicts have been handed out where the judiciary has specified names of particular people to be appointed as the chief minister. The writ filed against the formation of the government at Koshi province is still in consideration at the court, while a mandamus was issued to form the Gandaki province government. Likewise, political parties have been busy in meetings at Madhya province, making and breaking partnerships in a bid to save the government. None of the governments in the 7 provinces have been running in a normal manner. The Supreme Court sacked Gandaki Province Chief Minister Khagaraj Adhikari from CPN-UML following a writ that was filed against the votes given to him during his floor test. Nepali Congress's Surendra Raj Pandey is having a hard time preparing for his own floor test as the Chief Minister, as the Supreme Court issued a mandamus to appoint him to the post. The province governments have been pending tasks like announcing policies and programs and the budget for the next fiscal year on 15th of July. Just like Gandaki, the politics in Koshi province has also been unstable. CPN-UML's Hikmat Kumar Karki, who is the 6th Chief Minister, faces a writ filed by former Chief Minister Kedar Karki. This has pushed the fate of the province government to uncertainty. Elsewhere, the Madhya province government has been pushed to minority after CPN-UML and CPN-Maoist Center withdrew their support. The provincial politics has been pushed to instability as the ruling partners at the center and the Chief Minister of the province, Saroj Kumar Yadav, are all doing legworks for the government. In Bagmati province, although the Chief Minister has remained the same, the ruling equation has kept changing. Ministries have been split and provincial committees added for power share. In Lumini province, incumbent Chief Minister Jokh Bahadur Mahara from CPN-Maoist Center is the 3rd Chief Minister. He has split ministries just to maintain a balance in power share while adding burden on the state coffer. In the case of Karnali province, the government has seen 2 chief ministers. CPN-UML's Yamlal Karnel has been appointed to the post. However, he has not been able to give full shape to his cabinet. In Sudur Pashchim province, CPN Unified Socialist Dirga Bahadur Sodari is the 4th chief minister. However, CPN-UML has been posing challenges to the government as it has reservations against CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal. Meanwhile, the government works remain stranded in all these provinces, and the current scenario has raised questions on the sentiments of federalism. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What do you term the statement of Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal on another revolution in the brewing? Your options are A, having flashbacks of revolution, B, outcome of failure, and C, effort to keep others confused. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The government has called the victims of the loan sharks to file their complaints yet again. This is the 3rd call made by the government with the victims in the past 3 years to register their complaints. Despite making these calls, the government has not taken any concrete steps to identify the problems and find solutions for the victims. More than 20,000 complaints of the victims of loan sharks have yet to be addressed. Instead of addressing those grievances, the government has yet again called for complaints from the victims. On 24th of May earlier this month, an inquiry commission formed to investigate the issue of loan sharking called for complaints within a period of 3 weeks. The commission had urged both victims and those providing loans to file complaints with details of the transactions. District administration offices have said that only a few complaints have been registered by a week of the call made by the commission. 2 people were killed in an accident in Dang yesterday evening that involved an auto rickshaw and a motorbike. The 2 who were injured in the accident died while receiving treatment at a hospital in Nepalganj. According to DSP at the area police office Tulsipur, Thakur Prasad Pokhrel, the deceased have been identified as motorbike driver 30-year-old Rajesh Bhandari and pillion rider 31-year-old Sakar Kesi, both of Babai Rural Municipality 4. The auto rickshaw heading to Tulsipur and the motorbike coming from the opposite direction collided yesterday evening at Kumalgadi, Tulsipur 2. Injured auto rickshaw driver Rudra Bahadur Thapa of Khairini Shantinagar Rural Municipality is undergoing treatment at a hospital in Nepalganj. The pre-monsoon expedition season of Mount Everest is about to conclude. Many mountaineers have made records this season. In addition to trained and experienced mountaineers, many tourists across different age groups and countries have reached the Everest Base Camp this season. Such diverse demography of those hiking and trekking in the Everest region is an evidence to the fact that adventure is not just for the youth. More in this report.
Highest mountain of the world, Mount Everest, is a dream destination for most people of the world. Everest is a dream, an adventure, and an accomplishment. Tourists from across the world reach the Everest Base Camp with the objective of reaching the highest peak of the world, or the least of making it to the base camp to have a close-up view of Everest. Located at an altitude of 5,364 meters above the sea level, the Everest Base Camp witnesses the footfall of people from different parts of the world across different age groups.
I am coming with my father, mother and my brother. We are in a whole family and I am 10 years old and I am coming back from EBC.
The Everest Base Camp can be reached after an 8-day trek from Lukla. The enthusiasm and excitement injects energy among everyone. This enthusiasm and excitement lasts until the return to Lukla after making it to the base camp. Tourists of all age groups can be found with such energy.
I'm from Seattle, Washington in the United States. I also am 65 years old. We're on a quest to conquer these beautiful mountains in the Himalayas. Everyone has been delightful, engaging, lovely, welcoming.
Age is not an hindrance to energy. Those who embark on a new journey can only relish the beauty of the destination. During the process, they learn new languages and become aware about the geography. This adds more value to the experience.
It was a really good experience. It was really cold, but not that hard.
Hiking and trekking are not the only targets of reaching the destination. They're also the processes of weaving memories along the way and gathering more courage while witnessing the beauty of the immaculate views. Therefore, let age not be an obstacle for us to reach the Everest Base Camp, at least for once in our lifetime.
In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces how they have been going about their lives amid the heat. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
घर परिवार चलाउनको लागि हामीहरू दुःख गरेर बाध्यता भएर पनि बस्तारमा काम गरिरहेको छु।
पैसा हुन्छ र यसो बालबच्चा पढाउनु एक छाक भात खुवाउन बिहान बेलुका सकिन्छ भनेर बसाउने नानी के गर्नु।
बत्तीले गएर नभएर तपाईको खलखल पसिनाहरू आउँछ। यति प्रचण्ड गर्मीमा कसरी बाँच्न गाह्रो भइराछ।
गाहक पनि छैन, बजारमा आदमी छैन, धेरै गर्मी छ अहिले।
व्यापार त अहिले पुरै थप्प परेछ गर्मीको कारणले।
काम नगरी त हुँदै भएन, काम गर्नै पर्छ, जति नै गर्मी भए पनि।
साह्रै गर्मी छ, काम त गर्नै पर्यो।
गर्मी धेरै गर्मी छ, तपाईको गर्मीले गर्दाखेरि मान्छे त्यति आउन मान्दैनन्।
गर्मी छ, घाम छ, के गर्नु।
It's time now for the international updates. Donald Trump became the first U.S. president to be convicted of a crime yesterday when a New York jury found him guilty of falsifying documents to cover up a payment to silence a porn star ahead of the 2016 election. After deliberations over 2 days, the 12-member jury announced it had found Trump guilty on all 34 counts he faced. Unanimity was required for any verdict. Trump watched the jurors dispassionately as they were polled to confirm the guilty verdict. Justice Juan Merchan set sentencing for July 11, days before the July 15 start of the Republican National Convention, expected to formally nominate Trump for president. The verdict plunges the United States into unexplored territory ahead of the November 5th presidential election, when Trump, the Republican candidate, will try to win the White House back from Democratic President Joe Biden. 77-year-old Trump has denied wrongdoing and was expected to appeal. Trump told reporters afterwards that the verdict was a disgrace and it was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who is corrupt. He added the real verdict is going to be on November 5th by the people, and said he is a very innocent man. He faces a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison. Incarceration would not prevent him from campaigning or taking office if he were to win. Trump will not be jailed ahead of sentencing. Health authorities in Gaza informed the Palestinian death toll from the ongoing Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip has risen to 36,224. During the past 24 hours, Israeli forces killed 53 Palestinians and wounded 357 others, bringing the total number of injuries to 81,777 since the outbreak of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in October 2023. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, and Palestinian militants engaged in a fight at a refugee camp in Jenin, West Bank yesterday. It was reported that the Israeli army was conducting a military operation near a hospital in that area. According to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, the conflict in Jenin injured 6 Palestinians. Israeli government spokesperson David Mencer said that since the IDF launched a ground offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah on 6th of May, the Israeli army has killed around 300 Palestinian militants. 3 people were killed, including a police officer, in a shooting in the U.S. city of Minneapolis in Minnesota State yesterday. Authorities said the suspect is also dead and a second police officer is critically wounded. In a press conference, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey identified 28-year-old Jamal Michel as the officer killed in the shooting. Officials said the second officer is expected to recover. According to a news release from the city of Minneapolis, the incident began around 5:30 p.m. local time when officers responded to a shots fired call at an apartment complex in the Whittier neighborhood. The Minneapolis Police Department said upon arrival, officers were immediately met with gunfire. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.